Welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. This episode is brought to you by Emily Anderson, one of our newest Patreon patrons. Today, Sergio and I will be talking about the possibilities for an Animal Crossing Switch app, and we'll be reading some mail from our listeners. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hello, Chewy. I'm extra pumped today. It's been a good day. I don't really know why. No, but I feel great, and you wouldn't know it because there's no Animal Crossing news, so it must be because of other reasons.
I know exactly why you feel great. It's because we're only 50 days away from E3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 50. I mean, because I was talking about this earlier on the Discord a little bit, but what I was saying specifically is like today we've been waiting 221 days since Animal Crossing was first announced, and we've been waiting for the reveal, but now that we're only like probably 50 days away from seeing it at E3 this year, that's a huge step. That is less than a quarter of the time that we've been waiting so far. So,
good point.
yeah, we're so 50 days, that's going to fly by. And so, people are busy right now. They're finishing school. It's about to be summer break for some people. And, there's just a lot of stuff out there to distract you and keep, just make it easier to wait.
Oh, yeah. Then before you know it, boom, it's June and it's time.
Yeah. And you know what? Speaking of waiting, we've got one pretty cool thing coming up that will make this wait a little bit more bearable. And that is Haken Movie Night this Saturday. That is right. This Saturday, Haken Movie Night is happening. Last time I kind of forgot to put the link in the show notes. I'm not going to forget this time. I did go back and update everything. So if you listen to the last episode, the link is in those show notes now, both on YouTube and whatever podcast platform you listen on. But we've made a group. It's on Rabbit. We're going to be watching the Animal Crossing movie. Once again, we're kicking off an official monthly movie night, which is going to be really fun. But yeah, it's this Saturday. It's going to begin at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And just to be clear, let me put a date to that, April 27th. So yeah, it's coming up, and it's going to be really fun. It gives us... Rabbit's really cool. Yes. Everybody sees the movie at the same time, and everybody can chat while they're there. So you can all be happy watching the movie together, Yeah,
for sure. I'm really looking forward to the movie and to just chatting with everyone and just enjoying it, like you said, at the same time. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. And we've watched this movie together before, but I always felt bad that not enough people got to come and share that with us, you know? So this time we're going to have movie nights every single month, and, it's just right that we kick it off with Animal Crossing.
Yes.
Like, sure, we've seen it before, but now hopefully we get just more people to watch it with us, and it's a favorite for people. I think a lot of people really like it, and it really captures Animal Crossing and what it's about.
Yeah, for sure. The more times you watch it, it's just, every time it's like, man, this movie is just amazing.
Yeah, it's so good, and it's amazing because, like, Animal Crossing's not really a game with a plot. It doesn't really have a story going on. Sure, you will hear stories from some characters, but there's no, like, overarching story. There's nothing really that exists.
Right.
And this, to be able to take a game like that and turn it into a watchable movie, that's pretty impressive, and even when you watch it, like, things happen and you just connect with it because you've felt that while playing the game. And I think that's what I appreciated about the movie the most.
Yes, and I know for sure we have forgotten some subplots in there because there's a lot going on for a movie about Animal Crossing, so it's going to be awesome to watch it again.
Yeah, it's always fun to revisit. And it's just seeing, like, an animated version of our favorite game. It's exciting. It's always fun. But then after that, like I said, we'll probably do last day of the month movie nights again, where depending on, our schedules and everything, how we can make them work, we'll announce it, of course, at the beginning of the month to see when people can. But outside of that, yeah, like, we're gonna come up with some cool movies to hopefully have go for our movie nights from here on out. And I
Hmm.
think it's just another fun thing to do with everyone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, the other thing I wanted to say, since we're talking about things to hold us over until E3, because, we're anxiously waiting for that. This Thursday in Japan, April 25th, I think is the date, they are holding their, Nintendo is holding their investor meeting. And so typically, what happens at this meeting, this is the big one as well, because this is the
Oh,
year roundup, like their whole 2018 to 2019 fiscal year,
right.
which goes from the first day of April to the last day of March. So
Yes. Hmm.
kind of hard to keep track of because it's like more of the middle of the year. It's not like a January through December type of timeline.
Right.
Um, but yeah, first day of April to the beginning of March, they're gonna cover everything. And so I'm excited to see like stats for the Switch and see if it reached that 17 million sales goal, you know?
Oh, right.
Yeah, because they changed it from 20 million. And
Yes.
it would be pretty impressive if they hit the 20 million after all, but they
Oh,
did. But they did change it to 17 million, so they're probably projecting not to do as well. And I was doing a Chewy chat earlier, and I was saying that they probably would have made 20 million if they just already had the Animal Crossing console,
oh,
because
yes.
because we're buying it. Like, are you buying an Animal Crossing Switch?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, me too. So we're crazy. We're animals, is what we are. so so yeah, so there are some things coming up to hopefully hold you over, get you through another 7 days. We're doing this 1 week at a time because literally, I think I did the math last time and it was 8 weeks away. I think now we're at 7 weeks. In 7 weeks, it'll be E3, which
Oh,
is complete insanity. It's so close now, you know?
yes.
I'm ready. Okay, before we get into the show, Sergio, I'm holding off a little bit, but I'm really excited to get to our topic. But before we get to that, I'm going to ask you again, and I feel like we need to check in with each other every week about this. How are you feeling this week? Do you think we're going to see this game at E3 this year?
I think so. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna be any time before. It's gonna be at E3. Yes.
I'm right there too. I still think this is it. This is where we have to see this. And if we don't, I'm going to be
Oh no.
severely. We're going to have a repeat. I just can't
Oh,
see us having a repeat of the 2018 E3 after show where we were sad.
right.
That was it. Like, we
Oh,
were just sad. um, but okay. So we're there. We're on the same page,
yes.
everyone. E3 2019. Only how many years is that? For North America, at least, that's only 6 years
Only.
after New Leaf came out.
right.
Yeah, we've only been waiting 6 years, everyone. Be patient, is what they tell us. And I say, forget it. I'm not patient anymore. But some days I am. Some days, like
So,
over the weekend, I was pretty good over the weekend. I didn't
oh.
really, yeah, I wasn't just sitting there anxiously waiting for Animal Crossing, which is what I usually do. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so let's get into this show, Sergio. This topic is exciting. I'm really glad you remembered that I brought this up
yes.
because I did not. I did not remember at all. But and I know what people are gonna think because I talk about this a lot. We had some Smash news, and the Smash news kind of covered the app that is on the Nintendo Switch Online app for Smash specifically, but it showed us some really cool things. So this topic, we're going to talk about the possibilities of an Animal Crossing app that Nintendo could make for Animal Crossing Switch via, their Nintendo Online app. So yeah, Sergio, you wrote a lot of this, so I'm gonna let you kind of highlight a lot of the things you said here.
Sure, sure. And like you said, this is all because basically Smash Brothers in the 3.0 update, it sort of revived this application that it was only pretty much just used for either voice chat, which is not a lot of use as it is, and also Splatoon 2, which to be fair, it was really well done on that game as well. So it just got us thinking. The big part of the Smash application on your phone is what can you share. Basically, you can share videos, photos, stages, and a lot of other things. And it just got us thinking, what can we share in Animal Crossing Switch utilizing the mobile app? And yeah, we wrote a lot of things down. And I think that the very first one that came to our mind, I think both of us, patterns, custom made patterns, super easy to share, no more QR codes. This is it.
Yeah, patterns are one of the biggest things for sure, because the whole time, at least since the Switch has been introduced, we knew going into this, there's no camera on this machine.
Yes.
There is no like QR way to read QR codes. Like, how are we going to share patterns? Because that was a huge appeal in Animal Crossing New Leaf. Like, that was something we couldn't do before. And so now we're just thinking of like, okay, what possibilities are there, or what options do we have to, easily share patterns? Because, like, sure that you can make a code for a pattern and that would do the job, right?
Yes.
But that's kind of more annoying than scanning a QR code. That's one of the few cases where that exists, because nobody really scans QR codes unless it's for Animal Crossing.
True.
So, a long time ago, I think you brought up the fact that we have the phone app. The phone could be used to, scan a QR code. Like, it could be the device you use, and then easily, like we've seen it with Splatoon 2, like you said, that app. You can buy a piece of clothing on the Splatoon 2 app, and that'll show up in your game. It's not too hard to like scan a QR code and have that pattern show up in your game. I feel like that's essentially the same application. No pun intended, but I like it. But that's the application. That's the app. So yeah, I would want this for sure, because I have a feeling, and we saw the pattern creation grow in New Leaf. Like, we got a lot more options where we could like build our own palette. The grid system was a little bit better, and just overall, like, you could do a lot more with creating patterns. And so, and it was to the extent where you can make like much better customized clothing,
Yes.
Because at first, like in the earlier games, like you could make a design, but that was the same design that would show up on the front, the back, on the sleeves. But then New Leaf introduced you can do a front design, a sleeve design, and then also a back design,
Yes.
Like, you could separate each of the I guess, elements to your shirt.
Yes.
And be able to make something. So that's what made sharing patterns so great, because I've downloaded so many, like, just clothing. Like, all of my patterns are not paths. They're literally clothing that I downloaded from QR codes. So it's important to me. I have this really great llama sweater. It's
yes.
yellow, and it looks like the llama's walking while I'm walking. And it's important to me to have that in my game.
Yeah, for sure. And honestly, I just think the pattern system is going to improve even more. I think they're going to go even more detail, even more options. So being able to share them easily and to just, you see a pattern, you like it, you hit download, it's yours, you got it. That is so convenient, and I just think it's pretty much a given.
Yeah, and it's it's easy, it's quick, and it solves one of the hardware limitations until they, eventually add that Switch Pro model that has a camera. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, it's one of the only things that's missing, so
right.
I wouldn't mind. And please just give us Street Pass. I want Street Pass so bad. I'm gonna. That's the biggest thing I'm gonna miss for sure.
Yeah. Unless they're able to put it on the phone app, but that's going to get tricky.
Yeah, it seems hard. I don't know how they would work it out that way, but maybe they could.
Yeah.
And it's very important to me. I loved Street Pass. I even paid extra for like the bonus Street Pass games.
Oh, that's right.
Cuz they're fun. They're so fun.
Yes.
All right, Nintendo. There's no more 3DS, so let us get Street Pass on Switch.
Yeah,
That's all I'm
right.
saying.
Keep the best part alive of, of the 3DS. Well, arguably the best part.
Yeah. Yeah, so you had some more things written for like what we could share in Animal Crossing.
Yes, and one that I thought about is the town tunes, and the reason for this is, sometimes you go to a town and you really like the town tune that they have, so maybe you're able to borrow it or just make it your own. Or if somebody has a knack for making town tunes and some other people kind of don't, I know I kind of struggle on that. Maybe that person could be like, hey, I'll make you whatever you want. Just tell me, I'll make it real quick, and boom, here's your share it on the phone app, and you got it.
I think this one's really cool because I have looked up like notes for a song and then done the town tune. You go through the process of scrolling through all the notes and getting
Yes.
the right ones to build your town tune. And that, I don't know, for some reason it's just tedious. It just
Yeah.
feels
Yeah.
tedious when you're doing it. And so being able to share a town tune and just download it straight away, that's cool. That takes away a lot of what essentially stopped me from doing town tune stuff in the first place. Like
Hmm.
I'd go write my own town tune and keep that forever. Like I wouldn't try anything else.
Right.
And so yeah, I love this idea of like being able to share your town tune and just having opportunities to share yours with others. If you're really good at it,
Mhm.
people would like that. People would enjoy being able to download what you've made.
Yes, and then when you download, it's made a certain way, and you can start tweaking it right away and make it your own. Maybe they could also allow you to make them on the phone app itself, so you can just, when you're on the bus or on a car ride and you just want to mess around with a town tune, maybe it's going to be part of the app.
That would be so cool to just have like a little music creation app that is also a part of that. I really hope they add more notes to the
Oh, yes,
tunes
yes.
because there are not enough to do some things. So I'm gonna need that for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Another thing that we might be able to share with the app would be just items. I was thinking at first because like we said in Splatoon 2 you're able to order something and then you get it in your game. And then I thought, well, maybe they could do that with regular items in the game. And then I thought, well, I know item cloning can be an issue and if you clone a really cool item, it can cause problems basically in the long run. But if a Splatoon 2 can do it, I kind of don't see why Nintendo can't figure a way for you to just transfer an item. Let's say you have an item and you want to give it to someone else and they're not connected online at the same time. Maybe you can do it through the phone app. It could either be regular items from in the game or event items, kind of like the ones we have in Pocket Camp, like the butterflies or the different creatures. Basically, you just share them whenever whoever needs them. I'm thinking they should be able to do something like that on the Switch.
Yeah, and I think the one thing they'll limit on this is probably doing like bugs and fish and other. I mean, fossils
Hmm.
don't really fall under that, but like the things that their bugs and fish have been the example of Nintendo really wants you to catch these on your own and not
Yes.
be able to like trade them with everyone. So I think if they do this, they'll probably have limits in some sense of like
Hmm.
what you can trade, but overall, like I wrote at the bottom of your notes, market box,
Yes.
like Pocket Camp, because you can just put things up for sale and everybody can look at your shop all the time and buy something. That is, I feel like that's what they were going for in the auction house in City Folk,
Hmm.
where
Yes.
you put something for sale at the auction house and people bet on it, and or it's auctioned off and the highest bidder gets it. So I feel like they've tried to implement this in the past, didn't quite find a way to make it work, but now they can. I feel like
Yes.
they could probably make this work now.
Yeah, and with everything is always so connected that the Switch game is gonna be, the phones always are. I think there's enough checks for Nintendo to sort of detect any item cloning, basically to prevent it, and that just allows us to do a lot of cool things like the market box or just gifting items, just anything.
Yeah. And, in some ways, maybe this will keep people from cloning so many items too, because they're just so much easier to get because
Yeah.
so many people are sharing them?
Yes, for sure.
So, yeah, I think this is going to be a cool option if it exists because I've consistently liked the market box in Pocket Camp. It's always
Yes.
been something that I feel people use all the time. I just bought a bunch of things from the market box today because I couldn't find the bugs that they weren't spawning,
Right, right.
or the fish that wasn't spawning. And so, yeah, I feel like it gives you the chance to get something that you're having trouble finding. And then also, you just get a little extra, some extra
Right.
things. Like maybe you're trying to get four of one type of chair, and then you see it in other people's stuff, and you're like, yes, I can finally get this other
Oh,
chair instead of waiting for it in my town,
yes.
which would be so good.
Right, right. Good point. And then, of course, one like an instant given for this application is gonna be you're gonna be able to share photos and videos, especially because the Switch makes it so easy to just take those. I think it's pretty much a given that we're gonna be able to just look at people's snapshots of things happening, or hopefully also short 15 or 30-second videos of special events going on. I think that'd be great.
Yeah, that is. I mean, I feel like I follow a bunch of accounts on Instagram that are just like Pocket Camp designs that they've made. And I'm like, that's just really cool. Like being able to have the app do that same type of thing with Smash where you share photos or videos of stuff on the app and people
Hmm.
can look through. Seeing people's designs in Animal Crossing like that would be so cool. And then this also makes me think of how the online worked in Happy Home Designer, where you could like look up certain themes of homes and everything,
Hmm.
and then you can visit them. You can visit their designs that they made. And I always really liked how that worked in Happy Home Designer. I should show that off in a video
Oh,
sometime because I feel like not enough people got to appreciate it, and people made some amazing things in that game. I could not believe some of the designs people could pull off, especially like the people who really took the time to like create custom patterns and do
right, right.
customized things in that game because it was already like jam packed with items, and to even the customization was
Mm.
went even further in that game. So I need to show that off just to show people what I'm talking about when I envision the app, but
Oh,
it'd be cool if it's connected to like the Happy Home showcase or something, and you can say and this is another City Folk reference. City Folk did some cool things now that I'm thinking back at it, but the Happy Home showcase in City Folk, you could go in and you'd see somebody's home who had a cool design. And sometimes it was like from an online place, like if you were connected to,
mm.
I think We Connect 24, right?
Yes, correct.
So sometimes you'd get one from online and you're like, wow, this is a really different home. I've never seen this before. And so if you use the app, you can see photos of people's places or videos, and then you could click a button and it shows up in your Happy Home showcase.
Oh,
And if you were able to visit it and, buy a piece of furniture from
right.
there, I would love that application. And whenever I get too far on these things, I'm just like, this is such a great idea. I hope it has it. Nintendo, come on, don't let me down. And I feel like maybe we're making this game too great.
No, but then the long wait it starts to make sense.
Yeah. But at the same time, like if we're not getting an Animal Crossing game for 7 years, Nintendo, work on this. Work
Yes.
on putting this type of feature into the game 3 years down the line and give us an update for
Mm.
free or for money. I don't know. I'm going to give you money, Nintendo. But if it's for free, great. Thank you. But just give us an update 3 years down the line that really just keeps the game going, you know?
Yes.
So there's opportunities. that's part of the good thing about living in this digital era where, in the past, you'd get a hard copy of Animal Crossing and that's what existed. Like Animal Crossing on GameCube, that was the Animal Crossing. There were no updates that you could get for it. But
Mm.
now we can just download updates and it's great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and for the most part, it's free and it's so automatic. It's so great. Yep.
Yeah. So I went on that topic for a while because I care about it and I want to be able to share those types of things.
No, for sure. But there are other things that could be shared via the app, and these ones are starting to get a little borderline where, I don't know, I feel like it might just be better to do it in the game because, yeah, you could do it in the app, but you kind of lose some of the magic that we kind of been used to. And I think one of them, if they do bring it back, though, would be letter sharing. If you're able to finally send letters from your town in your game to someone else from your friends list, that's gonna be awesome. Maybe if they don't allow you to do that in game, at least let us do that through the app. That should be another option at least.
Yeah, definitely. We need to be able to send letters to each other. We need to be able to cuz one city folk's coming up again. We could do this in City Folk. We could go to our post office and send a letter to another post office.
Yes.
So it existed. It was a feature that was real, and it's a feature that all of us want to come back. We all want it to come back. So,
Yeah, it just makes sense. And like you said, it's been there before. So it's just a matter of bringing it back, making sure everything works and there's no workarounds or no issues, basically. Now,
yeah.
you also mentioned, of course, the Happy Home Designer, being able to add homes to it, and then you just go there and you can buy a couple of things a day. That's great. If that's in the game, most likely it will be, but also that could be done through the application on the phone. Another one would be Katie. This would be a cool way to find out, who has Katie or who wants to take her.
Yeah, yeah, no, I like that for sure. Just because the I always see to this day people saying, "I have Katie in my town, who wants her?" And so pretty consistently that's always something people request from others whenever they're playing
Yes.
Animal Crossing. Um so yeah, if there's an easy way to know, okay, this person has Katie, I'll go ahead and get Katie. And then, and so on. Like you can pass her along cuz the girl wants to travel.
Yeah.
she, she needs
She's
to see some
adventurous.
she needs to see the world.
Yeah, and maybe through the phone app, you can just tell her, oh, there's this town of Haken, you would like it. Just go there, and you don't even have to. She doesn't even have it. Doesn't even need you to be online. You can just tell her the town name from your friends list, and she's going.
Yeah. And like I'm I feel like it's a strange thing to kind of take the app and use it to do these types of in-game things.
Mhm.
And I feel like a lot of people are going to say, "Well, I'd rather just play the game and do it that way."
Right.
And my for some reason, when I think about it with Animal Crossing, I just feel like it's so cool that I can keep playing my Animal Crossing Switch game on my phone.
Mhm. Mhm.
Like I don't get that feeling of like, oh, I should just do this on the game because I'd rather play. I get the feeling of like, oh, I'm at work right now and I'm so glad I can do some things through my phone.
Yes.
So I feel like it's beneficial. It's beneficial for people who are busy a lot of the time and just, can't wait to get home and see how their town is doing.
Right, right. And I think our main preference would be yes, we want all of these features in the game itself, first and foremost. But then if they're also available on the phone application, that's a huge bonus. Imagine, if maybe there's a household with only one Switch and somebody wants to play a certain game, you can say, okay, go for it. I'm gonna do a bunch of other Animal Crossing things on my phone because I can. And that's crazy to say because a lot of games just don't offer that. I think Animal Crossing lends itself to it perfectly.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, I want to go back a little bit to the HHD, like Happy Home Designer, order a few items a day.
Mhm.
That's fun too, because then that to me is another workaround of the schedule of Animal Crossing, like where if you
Mm.
don't play on the schedule, you miss out on things. But giving people the opportunity to log into the app and still be able to find some things to buy, that's a good workaround for that, you know?
Yes. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and always the more options, the better. Something related to Katie. I know it would be nice to also see who has a certain villager in boxes, basically ready to move out to a certain town. You could decide, yeah, I want notifications when my friends have a villager moving out and I want to see who it is. Or I can also say, hey, Bob or someone else is in boxes in my town. Anybody want him? Like that could be a cool option too.
Yeah, that is a good way to do it too, because I also remember seeing posts like that where people were just announcing what villagers they have who are leaving, and other people being able to say, "Cool, I want that villager. I'll adopt them."
Yes.
So yeah,
And
to
then
have like a bulletin board type of thing. That's what I'm thinking. Like a bulletin board that just lets you post that you need something, you have something, you're giving away something, just other ways to communicate, because that's the game. Communication, that is the game. That's what Nintendo's always strived for.
yeah, for sure. And then with the phone app, yeah, we can do a lot of these things even via chat or just in the game itself. But if, for example, if we say, oh, I have Ed in boxes, and then some people might be thinking, oh, who's Ed again? I don't remember. But if you see it on the phone app, they could even show you Ed right there and you see, oh, yeah, that's it. I want him.
Yeah, that's true. Like getting pictures of all these villagers, or like
Yes.
like a daily fun fact. It'd probably have like a calendar with villager
Oh, yes.
birthdays and things. That would be fun.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And then another one that we have here, and this is where we're getting a little controversial. If you're able to decide, I think this would be better if it's optional. If you want to be able to tell people what your turnip prices are. Because a lot of the time you just want to be able to kind of share it live, like on our Discord. I'm sure that's going to be an awesome thing going on. But if you opt in, the app could tell you your friends' turnip prices, like whenever you want. I know, that sounds like easy mode in a way, but maybe you want that in. Maybe the game can allow you that.
Yeah, I want that. I want to be able to share my turnip prices with people. I'm in. Sign me up. But yeah, no, I like that. It could be optional, and maybe all of these things could be optional. Like maybe you prefer
Yes.
finding a friend on your own to sign petitions and things, and
Right.
maybe you want to avoid finding turnip prices and just keep it to your town. I don't see why, but it's fine.
Right.
But yeah, I would be down. I would be down to have a place where people can share their turnip prices and do like a turnip exchange thing. And I feel like for the most part, the app, it keeps track of your own friends. And so it would mostly be people that you're already friends with who could show
Hmm.
up for a lot of these things. And that way you don't have to deal with like, oh, what's your friend code? Let me add ya, do all this
Mm.
stuff to get connected. But rather it's just connected with the people you're already connected to.
Oh, okay, okay, that's a great point.
Yeah, because that's kind of. I am one of the few people who uses the Nintendo Switch Online app because I played a lot of Splatoon, and the Splatoon app exists.
Yes.
And so I would use the app to go and look at my Splatoon things. And whenever Splatfest comes around, you can click on the Splatfest and you'll see all of your friends on your friend list, and it'll show what team they picked for Splatfest.
Mm, yes.
So yeah, just ahead of time, you already know. And so if it connects with your friends, you'll just know your friends' turn up prices. And I think that's all you really need to?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially because on our Discord, there's gonna be so many friends. I think we're gonna hit the limit on friends on the Switch.
Yeah, we probably will. There's just so much to play, so many people to play with too.
Yeah, for sure. Now, these are all the things that we might be able to share on the app. Like we said, we want to be able to do this in game first of all, but on the app it's going to be another option, and it would be pretty awesome. But the application is also going to serve other purpose, which is basically keeping track of your stats. And while that's a great thing in Smash Brothers, I think it's also a great thing in Animal Crossing. Especially for hardcore Animal Crossing fans like us and like our listeners. So of course, there's the basics. It's going to have your town name, your major name, but it could also go in a lot of detail. The number of hours you have played the game, the number of days that you have played the game, everyone's different town fruit, the town ordinance, if you have any. Maybe if you changed it recently, it could also have like a little notification thing. The list of your current villagers, I think that would be nice so you can see who has who.
Yeah, I always love seeing my villagers are all organized, seeing who I have. Maybe it'll alert you when somebody moves in because you have
Ooh.
some space. That'd be interesting. But yeah, I want to see a list of my villagers, and it's just fun. Like I said, when you are away from home, away from your Switch, away from your game, it's just nice to have something that you can look at and feel like you're still connected to your game in some way.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So seeing like your friends' different town fruits that's just fun. That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, for sure. And then you can also see what stores or shops somebody might have. You can kind of tell, oh, they've been playing a lot because they have everything kind of maxed out. That's awesome. Like we said, the option of checking turnip prices and also posting your own, that would be cool. You mentioned a calendar, and I think that's awesome. I want to say I hope that's a given because that would be so cool to see and keep track of events super easily, and also villager birthdays. That would be so convenient.
Yeah, definitely. A calendar would be huge. And I also say I really miss the journals from Animal Crossing Population Growing. I want to be able to, like, maybe it could connect to a journal that we have in game and you can make like little notes. I don't want to make just a note for
Oh,
the month, I want like a daily
yes.
note calendar that I can take and, just maybe from like I'm sitting at work during my lunch break. Maybe I don't have my Switch, and because I'm kind of planning to take my Switch once Animal Crossing comes out and play during my lunch break just to like do things. But on the days when I don't, I want to be able to go into my calendar on my phone and write some things on there and then see it in my game later when I'm playing.
Yes.
And then know that like, oh yeah, I wanted to do this. I want to do this type of work. So yeah, I want that. It just sounds fun to me.
Yes, I've always wanted the journal back, and like you said, just make it a daily thing or make it like post-it notes that like with the phone app. That would be so amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I wrote these last couple of things that
Yes.
we could see as stats on the app. I want to see fish and bug sizes. We never ever see those. We see them. Well, we do see them. We see them when you catch the fish or bug, and then never again. You just can't find them
Right.
anywhere. And I want to be able to see those stats. Like, what's the smallest fish you ever caught? The biggest fish you ever caught? The mediumest fish you ever caught? Whatever it is, but it'd just be fun to see those stats, and I don't know. I guess see your other friends' stats, like, oh, they caught a bigger sea bass than you caught. so,
Right.
so yeah, it'd be cool to see that because we just never see it. It doesn't. It's not something that exists for us.
Yeah, and we said that Smash Brothers keeps a track of a lot of stats. Maybe this one too. It could keep track of how many of each fish or bug you've caught throughout your entire playtime.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be cool. And then the other thing I wrote was like badges because I feel
Yes.
it's just cool to see your badges and being able to see like the progress that you've made toward a badge would be very helpful because when you're trying to get the weed picking badge, like you never
Mm.
see it. You never see when how close you are. And so,
Oh,
yeah, it'd be cool to see like what progress you've made
yeah.
toward a badge on the app.
Oh, that would be awesome for actually like a progress bar for each one.
Yeah, I'm into it. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I think we've only scratched the surface of the things that we can share on the app or that the app is going to keep track of. Nintendo always surprises us in whatever we can come up with. They always come up with something we couldn't even imagine and that is like absolutely perfect. So we can only hope for now until we get some official details. But yeah, this is only possibilities and I think this is all pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really hope Animal Crossing gets an app, but only 2 games have it at this point. It's not likely, but
Hmm.
I hope it happens. I just hope it does. And that's why they've been taking so long to make the game.
Right, right. And again, communication game, that would be perfect.
Yeah, it's just something that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and move into our next topic. And we are taking, for the first time ever, listener mail. So once a month, I think we're going to go ahead and open up our mailbox and see what all of our listeners are thinking, what they want to ask us, just, a bunch of different things. So, yeah, this is something new that we're doing because I've always felt like we needed something for the general audience because a lot of our stuff has been focused around, I guess, the Haken Villager Corner is like, here are our patrons, and we ask them a question, and now we get to
Mhm.
share their answers kind of thing. So now this is it. Like, this is open to our regular listeners just to ask us questions, ask us a bunch of different things. And so, yeah, I've picked a few. Well, I've picked a lot. But I decided to do like a speed round in the middle
Ooh.
of questions. So we're going to have a very short amount of time to answer some of these.
Ooh.
All right. So let's go ahead and start off with a letter from Fatastic. And Fatastic said, "Have you ever wished you could live in your Animal Crossing town? Sometimes at night while laying in bed, I would close my eyes and pretend I were living in my Animal Crossing New Leaf town and enjoying the simple life with my villagers. It helps me relax and feel better before sleep." That's really nice. So, have you ever imagined that?
Yes, for sure. Actually, to get a little deep into this, I feel like, in a way, I feel like personally, and you probably agree, and a lot of our listeners, we played so much that we kind of almost did. We kind of almost lived there. We knew the in and out of our town and our villagers, and we built personal relationships with each one. Even if they have the same personality, they were just a little bit different, and we loved each and every one of them for different reasons. I lived in Madeira for a couple of years, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you feel like you had an experience that was fully there.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's awesome. I definitely think about it from time to time. Not often, I guess, but I do think of like, oh man, it'd be pretty different to live in that world. I don't understand it really. I think I would miss eating. But a lot of other things would be really great. Like, just there are a lot of things that are simple and just relaxing. It seems like a nice place to live and stay.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I've imagined it for sure. So do you want to read this letter from Brenda?
Yes, Brenda says, what kind of videos, as in weekly updates, first time playing, etc., do you plan on uploading to YouTube about your Animal Crossing Switch games? I don't really go on Twitch very often, as most videos posted by people I follow in America um, are very late or early for me in Australia. So I'm much more interested in what will be posted to YouTube. And personally, my plan is, well, I'm going to be recording pretty much every moment that I play the game, but every week, at least that's the plan right now, it's to do like a highlights video of the week and just look for like the best parts or funny moments and make a little video every week. That's the plan.
Yeah, I'm thinking I like your plan, and I'm still super amazed that you're going to be going for recording every single moment of gameplay. And I kind of want to do that too, but I don't know. I have to make so many videos. I would need to get a hard drive for sure
Oh,
to
yes.
hold everything. A pretty big one. um, but regardless, yeah, no, I plan on doing a lot of things Animal Crossing Switch wise. I'm probably gonna do like a daily Let's Play for the first month at least, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I'm going to get home and play every single day, so I might as well record it and
Right.
let people see that. So, yeah, I'm for sure doing that. I'll do a bunch of different videos based on like cool discoveries and things around the game. I'm planning on bringing back my Where Are They Now series when the game comes out
Oh.
because we made two of them. You wrote the KK Slider one, and I wrote the Tom Nook one.
Mhm.
Um, and so like when I made them, I was like, it'd be kind of cool to have the new game to kind of compare where they have been
Right.
to where
Right.
they are now, because that's kind of the name of them, the
Yes.
series now. Like, where are they now? So I want to bring that back and kind of look at each of the characters and see where they are. So
Right.
yeah, so that'd be really fun. And then, yeah, I'm sure we're going to make lots of stuff regarding this game. We're going to keep the podcast going for sure, because we're going to have more to say than ever before for the first time ever.
Right.
Somehow we've managed to come up with all of these topics throughout almost 2 years now. It's like been a year and a half, right?
Right. Right.
And still no game, and somehow we're still talking about it. But yeah, we're just gonna have a lot to say about this, and it's gonna be exciting.
Yes, for sure.
All right, so we're at the rapid fire segment. It came up
Oh.
fast. All right, Sergio, I think, how about, well, I'll read these questions off to you, and I'll give you like 5 seconds to answer, and then you can do the same to me.
Okay.
All right. So these are from Gary P23. And the first question is, what is your favorite Animal Crossing game?
New Leaf.
What is your favorite Animal Crossing game that is not a main game? So I'm thinking
Amiibo
spin-off.
Festival.
Amiibo Festival. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Coconut, you're so happy. All right. What is your top 3 consoles?
Ooh, the Switch, the GameCube, and the N64.
Good choices. When did you start playing? I guess I don't know what this one refers to. Let's go with Animal Crossing.
It was summer 2004.
When did you start playing video games?
Oh man, 1990. I was 3 years old.
Awesome. Okay. What is your favorite sport?
Soccer.
What is your favorite hobby other than Animal Crossing and YouTube?
Soccer. Watching it.
Should Wii Sports Resort come to Switch?
Yes, yes, that would be a good series.
Will you do a live stream with viewers?
Yes.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, dogs. Easy, easy.
Awesome. All right. You can go through me now.
Okay, sounds good. What is your favorite Animal Crossing game?
New Leaf.
What is your favorite Animal Crossing game that is not a mainline title?
Happy Home Designer.
Ah. What is your top 3 consoles?
Switch, 3DS, and N64.
Ooh. When did you start playing Animal Crossing?
It must have been 2006? High school? I was in high school.
Oh, nice. When did you start playing video games altogether?
Probably around like 1993 or 4. I was also probably 3 or 4 on Nintendo.
Oh, nice, nice. What is your favorite sport?
Soccer.
What is your favorite hobby other than Animal Crossing or YouTube?
Music. All things music. Playing it, listening to it.
Ah, nice. Should Wii Sports Resort come to the Switch?
Yes.
Would you do a live stream with viewers?
Every day.
Nice.
With that
And
game and Animal Crossing.
last question: dogs or cats?
Cats, easy. Yeah, no, I like cats. That was fun.
Nice.
All right, so let's do. I'm really excited to see what you answer for this next one. This one's from Samsy, and
Ooh.
their question is: KK Slider or DJ KK?
I'm gonna have to go with KK Slider because without him, there wouldn't be DJ KK.
Yeah, I have to go with KK Slider because I just love playing guitar, and KK Slider is the guitar master.
Yes.
All right. So I think this is Aeroflot Tomchen.
Mhm.
I that's as good as I'm gonna get with this name. And their question is, which kind of transportation do you want to see in the new Animal Crossing?
That gets tricky. I think one that would make sense and that I want to see added is a hot air balloon rides, but I kind of don't want to go away from my town. I just want to go up and look at my town, you know?
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, like an aerial view of your town.
Right, yes.
That's cool. Oh, I didn't even think of that. Because and this might be something that we'll have to talk about a little later because I asked. No, we'll get to it. We'll get back to that.
Cool.
Mine, I'm stuck with the campers. I really want to see the campers come over from Pocket
Oh,
Camp, just because like it gives you the opportunity, and I always say this, to decorate something, and when you visit somebody else, they have something to look at. It's not
yes.
so one-sided anymore, where only you are experiencing something new. So campers for me.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, and then our last piece of mail is from Kakulu.
Mhm, yes.
That's what we're going with. And they said, why do you think we don't ever see any Animal Crossing clones? Like, we see plenty of Harvest Moon clones, Stardew Valley, My Time at Portia, etc. But I can't think of one good example of a cute animal neighbor game besides Animal Crossing. Why is that?
Yeah, I honestly don't know. It's got to be the Animal Crossing magic. There's been so many times I cannot even begin to tell you that you hear, oh, there's this game, and it's kind of like Animal Crossing, and then you kind of look at it and you see, yeah, I can see why, but then you play it and it's really not the same. There was Fantasy Life on the 3DS. I forget the name, but there's also a Disney one. You play as Disney characters. It's also on the 3DS, and that one too was supposed to be similar to Animal Crossing and like Tomodachi Life, and there's really just not the magic that we're used to. Animal Crossing is so unique.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just goes back to like nobody tries to do like a real time thing. I think it's hard to find a game that people
Mm.
do the real time aspect of Animal Crossing where every day is a day in real life. And so, because like all of these examples of Harvest Moon are very Harvest Moon is a different life sim in the sense of like it's very efficiency driven. Like it's
Mhm.
you are given a time limit, you have seasons that pass by quickly, and you're just trying to do things at a speed that is fast enough to like keep up with the demands of the game.
Right. Hmm.
So yeah, I feel like a lot of those tend to run into efficiency, whereas Animal Crossing just becomes relaxing. It becomes relaxing in the sense of like you don't have to really worry about being efficient because even if you miss something in one season, life goes on. And next season, you're going to have more new things to go for. And then next year, you'll get back to that original season where you missed some stuff and you can just do it again, you know?
Yes.
Like there's no real demand to make progress in Animal Crossing. It's just you make as much progress as you want to make. And
Yes.
it's hard to capture fun with that, but you see it in I mean I don't play a lot of Minecraft. I've played it a couple times.
Mm.
And I want to do a little bit more with Minecraft, but there's not really a goal when you're trying to live a life in Minecraft. You just make things. And
Yes.
it's hard to be able to capture that, I think, for games. And in Minecraft's case, I think it captures like what's so great about Lego. Like, you buy a set, sure, but you can then take all those pieces and do whatever you want with them. Like, you can build what you
Right.
want. So that's Minecraft. And then Animal Crossing, like, it gives you all of these pieces, and it gives you the freedom to do what you want with them. And then other games kind of give you more of the goals.
That's a good point. And to go back a little bit on what you said about, there's always little things, and yeah, you might miss one, but, we all go through downtimes here and there. And one thing that whenever I need like a little lift me up and to be more positive, it's focusing on the little things that every day has that are good on their own, and the little things add up. And I think that goes back to Animal Crossing. Yeah, you might miss one thing or two, but there's so many little things every day that even if you miss a few, your gameplay for each day is gonna be awesome. And that's where the fun is. There's always so many little things to do, and they're always fun, and there's always tomorrow, and there's always next week and next month.
Yeah, and then you also, and we should probably compare this to kind of coming from a different studio, for example. Like Stardew Valley, the craziest thing about that game is that one person made it.
Mm-hmm.
And, they had an idea. They were definitely inspired by Harvest Moon, but felt like Harvest Moon went away from the gameplay that they enjoyed. And so they made Stardew Valley to kind of fill that void. But one person made it. And then you have like kind of smaller teams that are working on games like My Time at Portia, who, maybe don't have the opportunity to take a risk like a real-time clock,
Yes,
and
that's
so
right.
choosing something that works, something that like gives you a limit, or limits the player's day, for example, it kind of feeds into their gameplay loop where you only have so much time to do so many things. And though games are generally endless that fall into this category, it still is targeted at making sure the game remains interesting. Because I know a lot of people who get really into Stardew Valley get into that, like, oh, I'll just play one more day kind of cycle. Where,
Right.
because each day is like 15 minutes if you don't pause the game, or I think it's like 17 minutes if you go without pausing. But like once that time goes fast, and then it's done, and then you say, okay, maybe I'll just play one more day. And so, and that's part of it. Like they fill it with a lot of things to do, and then they give you a time limit to do it in. So it kind of keeps you having fun and motivated.
Right, right.
Yeah. So anyways, I don't know why people don't do it. I want to see more animal type games. Jackie and I were just talking about a game idea that just came to me. I'll talk to you about it later, Sergio, because and probably people on the Discord too, because in case I want to make it.
Nice.
Though I don't know the first thing about making games, but maybe I'll find somebody who can help me. But yeah, I guess let's move into the Haken's Villager Corner, because we're getting pretty long here, and we should probably get to it, because I've still got to edit this thing tonight.
Right.
So Haken's Villager Corner, for those of you who don't know, we ask our patrons on Patreon a question every week, and they answer. And this week's question was, what types of public works projects would you like to see added to Animal Crossing Switch? So yeah, let's do our usual thing where we go back and forth. Do you want to start, Sergio?
Yes, sounds good. The first answer this week is by Rolu, and they say, I don't have any ideas for specific projects, but I would love to be able to rotate them around. It would add so much more variety. Yes, oh, for sure. That alone would be a huge improvement.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been walking down the river, and I'm like, I wish when my river is like vertical, it's going from north to south, I want to put a bench there that faces the west or faces the east, and not just facing south. I want to put
Right.
a bench that faces the river at that point. So, yeah,
Oh.
rotating public works is one of my top needs. Lyalatron says, I'd like to be able to fund new areas for the villagers to enjoy, like a mountain retreat or beach cove area for parties/events. And what I like about this answer is we didn't have the ability to place public works projects on the beach in Animal Crossing New Leaf, and that's a
Hmm.
shame. There are
Yes.
so many cool things that you can put on a beach that we just don't exist because that wasn't a possibility. So I think in the next game, we're going to need to be able to build beach things specifically. But if we have like different terrains that we can make, doing a little mountain retreat would be super cute.
Yeah, for sure. It could be a terrain-specific public works. I'm sure, you can make whatever you want on the beach, but I'm sure they would add specific ones that make even more sense. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, definitely.
The next answer is by Jam, and they say, I think the amenities feature in Pocket Camp is one of the few good things about Pocket Camp, and I would love to see them make a return in Animal Crossing Switch. I love the range of amenities, and I love seeing the campers actually interacting with them. I hope these amenities will be available as public work projects in Animal Crossing Switch. Yes, especially the interactions from the villagers. That always felt like it was really missing. Yeah, they talked about them, and they would ask you for a public work, but they never really interacted with them.
Yeah, and that's for sure the thing to highlight. Just like the usability of public works projects in New Leaf is zero, practically. I mean,
Yes.
sure, you could spin the little jungle gym thing or you use the water fountain. The most useful one was probably like the recycling can, where you could actually
Yes.
click on it and get rid of an item. Um, but yeah, outside of that, like, there's really just not much you could do with them. You didn't see the villagers on them. I want to build a half pipe in my town and see my villagers shredding it up. So that's a good point for sure.
Yes.
So Tab says, whatever they are, I want to see my villagers interacting with them, sitting on the benches, playing on playground equipment, having a picnic on a picnic blanket, etc. I also want to be able to use them as well. I don't like how in Pocket Camp only your villagers can climb up in the tree house or ride the a carousel, but you cannot. The more public work projects options, the better, so people can add more personality to their towns. I'm going to say Jackie's number one complaint about Pocket Camp is that she cannot get on the carousel. That's the only thing she wants to be able to do, and it won't let her.
Oh
So,
man, it
yeah.
just makes sense. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, I agree for sure. Like, if the animals can ride it, you can ride it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're just animals. So, yeah, that's a very good point.
Yes, for sure. Next, we have an answer by Will B. And they say, I would love to be able to build a car and drive around my village. This is interesting. I wonder if Will wants to drive in his town as is, or maybe he's thinking that town could have like roads, like specific areas to use vehicles on.
Yeah, or build your own Mario Kart stage.
Oh,
Animal Crossing themed. The Animal Crossing track is the best. It's so pretty.
yes.
But yeah, I mean, I wonder if they'll do like the car type of thing, but yeah, that's a very different type of game than Animal Crossing is. But like there are big like open world games that take place in a city. I guess I'm thinking Grand Theft Auto, where you're just driving around and the town's big enough to require a car to drive around it.
Yes.
That'd be insane to get a town that big. If that were possible, I don't believe it would be, but if it were, cool. Yeah, I'm into it.
Nice.
So Quantrell says, park stuff like swings, slides, monkey bars, seesaws, etc. But I want them usable, not just decoration. And
Yes.
yeah, for sure. Because we get some park things in New Leaf, but it's not enough. Like, we need these sets to grow and just give you more things to make. I like the idea of slides too, and being able to go up the slide and down the slide and going on a swing with a friend, like one of your villagers. And yeah, I'd be very much into that.
Oh man, that would be awesome. And then you could, of course, build them next to each other, and you could be using one, and the villagers could be using the others, and everyone is just at the park having a great time. Man, I want that.
Yeah.
The next answer is by Dragon, and he says, I want the treehouse from Pocket Camp, the picnic blanket, and hoping the widescreen TV with 24-hour ads returns as well. Just add more to what we had. I really enjoyed the amenities feature in Pocket Camp, so having public work projects in that vein, where maybe each public work project has level tiers you can construct in your town, would be really cool. Oh, I hadn't thought of
Oh,
that. Tiers.
yes. That really excited me because that is the cool thing with Pocket Camp. Like, you start out with the amenity and you can level it up over time. The one issue I think with Pocket Camp when they do it is like it doesn't really change until it reaches the max level.
Yes.
And that's pointless. Come on. Let me see the differences in what you upgrade, you know? But yeah, I love that. At first I was confused about the widescreen TV with 24-hour ads, but now I'm realizing it's like the billboard screen
Yes.
thing. Yeah, that's a cool one. But yeah, I really like that. Upgrading them. I didn't even think of that. I'm surprised I didn't.
It's awesome.
Yeah. So Fatastic says, I would like to see some of the amenities from Pocket Camp in Animal Crossing Switch, but the main thing is that they should be interactable. It is kind of disappointing that we cannot interact with some public work projects in New Leaf. For example, I would like to see villagers using the water well public works projects from New Leaf. It would be cool if they can pull water up the well and carry around a bucket of water to water their flowers. Oh, some public works projects have a lot of potential, but they're just for mere decoration. Yeah, that's true. That's a good way to phrase it. Like, they're just decoration. Yeah, but yeah, I feel like everybody's kind of feeling that same thing where they want to be able to use the public works projects.
Yes, for sure. And I think it could even be a nice opportunity to have different interactions depending on the villager personality. They could do different things.
Oh yeah, that's true too. I would love to see the differences of how they use something, because you also get
Right.
that just to make this a little bit more realistic. An idea when you walk out of a villager's home, they'll either wave to you or bow. They do something different, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there are differences in how their personalities interact with you.
Oh, yes. The next answer is by Sasha505, and she says, I would like some color swatches for the public work projects. That way, each town will be even more different from each other. I would also like something similar to the campsite in New Leaf. Maybe another slightly different looking campsite where villagers from your friends' towns will visit. And instead of staying inside the tent, they would stay outside and walk around the tent. You would be able to talk to them and they would talk about how cool their town and major is. The next day, when your friend talks to that villager in their town, they might tell him or her about their cool camping experience. Maybe you would even be able to obtain a new camping furniture set from them. That would be such a fun feature.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like. I always think of the camping because this is a feature that's existed since population growing. Like, people could show up in your town and camp. And so it was always exciting to see a villager pop up, but be able to grow like on the camp idea and make it bigger and make it more interactive. I'm all for that.
Yes, exactly.
So Wolfbite says, I'd like to see projects that are even more interactive, like bowling or mini games you can play with people visiting your town and villagers.
Oh.
Yeah, so that is a really cool idea. Because like that definitely adds interaction, but also like adds games for when people visit your town.
Yes.
Yeah. So I like that. What were you going to say about it?
No, for sure. And if they could basically make the villagers also play those games with you, like at a CPU, basically. Oh man, that would be so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
The next answer is by Brenda, and she says, I would love it if there were more natural sort of things, like beehives, a mushroom farm, or a fairy circle spot where mushrooms are more likely to grow, or even just a big old tree stump. Plus, I think paths should be a kind of public works project. That way, the villagers would use them more, and you wouldn't be able to rub them out. I think they would need to make a huge variety, though, or let them be customizable. Plus, more color options, as others have said.
I like a lot of
Yes.
these. Like the natural things are really cool. Especially like having the beehive types of houses and that sort of stuff. And anything that gives me more mushrooms, I want. Yeah.
Nice, and it just adds more to the nature feel of Animal Crossing.
Yeah, definitely. Because that it's Animal Forest. And we're
Right.
in this forest with animals, and I love it. So Bunny says, I would like to see public works projects that we could interact with, more than just sitting on. It would be fun to have a public swimming pool that the villagers could use, or a chess table they could play each other on. Even a playground could be fun. I hope the public works can make the town feel more lively. And I love this because, like, we get the swimming pool in Pocket Camp, for example. And then the chess table, I feel like that gives you like a board game that you can play with friends, and maybe because they've added mini games kind of in the form of the Wii U and the 3DS in the Welcome Amiibo update, where
Right.
you could play Desert Island Escape, or what's the puzzle game called again? Why am I forgetting?
Planet Puzzle League? Yes,
Puzzle
Puzzle
League,
League.
yeah, the Animal Crossing Puzzle League. So I think it'd be cool to see like little games that are at the park, like on a table.
Yes.
And then you could play and have computer players and stuff, like your little villagers play as computer players. And yeah, I think it's cool.
Oh, for sure. That'll be awesome. And our last answer for this week is by Sarah. And she says, I would love to see the Pocket Camp amenities included as public work project. Some of my favorites that come to mind are the treehouse, the picnic set, Red's Shrine, and the Timmy and Tommy fountain. It would be amazing to have these as part of your town, especially if they were interactable. Again, we just want them to work with you and with your villagers.
Yeah, and I feel like, New Leaf was probably limited that of just being
Mm,
on the console that it was on, and it was
yes.
limited in their ability to like program them interacting with things. So the Switch is definitely not. The Switch should be able to handle some interactive things. So yeah, these are all good options too. The treehouse is always it's cool. It's just so
Yes.
cool to have the treehouse in there. So yeah, did you have anything you wanted to see with the public works projects?
Just I mean, what I want to put is just things around my house. I've always wanted a terrace or a patio. I don't know if they would work as public work projects. I guess it would be more like home renovations, but anything that can be around your home, that would be great. And for sure, I agree with everyone that said that you should be able to interact with the projects and the villagers as well.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And I'd say for me, I want to see the existing sets grow, cuz I feel like we get this with furniture sets each game in Animal Crossing. Like they'll add some furniture to each set, they'll
Hmm.
add more sets. So I'm just like waiting to see more themes that we can build around, more just ideas come through in this game. And I think it's clear that they have some. The team on Pocket Camp is continuously adding new things, so it's exciting. um
Yes, and I'm sure it must have come up where they come up with a great item or amenity in Pocket Camp, and they say, you know what, let's just save it because this is a great public works project.
yeah, they could very well do that. So that would be actually pretty cool to see like their stockpiled ideas. So I want so badly to one day get a hold of like notes for them planning out one of the Animal Crossing games, be it any of the ones that we already have or the Switch title. It'd just be really
Ooh,
cool to see how they came up with everything that they come up with.
Right.
Yeah. So thank you all so much for listening. If you want to be part of the conversation on all things Animal Crossing, join the Discord. I have a link in the description of this podcast. It's totally free to join. You don't have to be a patron. And if you do join, you can get Sergio and my friend codes. If you do want to become a patron, visit patreon.com/ChewiePlaysNintendo. For just $1, you can support our show and get tons of cool things. You can see our current goals to improve the show and our content. We try to make it worth it because we really appreciate your support. If you're watching or listening on YouTube, please leave a comment about what you want to see in Animal Crossing Switch or what public works projects you would like to see. And please leave a review of the show wherever you're listening. It helps the show gain some visibility and allows our community to grow. And once again, thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Bye-bye, everybody.